Hello. Okay. A very precarious setup here, but we are going to make it work. I'm going to give everyone just a sec to pop on and say hello. I have done lives before, and sometimes the comments work, sometimes they don't. Oh, hi, Alicia. Okay, I can see that. That's good. But I have my computer and my phone set up just in case something happens, but we'll make it work either way. And I also have some notes, so if you see me kind of darting my eyes in between screens, that is why. Hi, Alicia. How are you? I'll give everyone a second, like 6:03. I also live next to a fire station and am really close to the parking garage. So if you hear sirens or car alarms, that's the norm. That's the normal, but you know, we'll make it work. So I'm gonna try and keep this under an hour. At least 45 minutes of coaching and then 15 minutes or so for questions, depending on how many of you can join live. Also, I'm going to have a space in the group for you to post questions if you're watching the replay. So hashtag replay, ask your question, and I'll get back to you throughout the week. Let me know if there are any hot firefighters I need to visit. I haven't seen any. I've only, I know they're there. I know they're there. There's gotta be, but if I see one, I'll know where to direct him. Absolutely. Counting down the days till you're done. Yes, yes. It's almost, it's not almost summertime. It's way not close to summertime. Maybe a break. You get a break soon? Spring break? Is that what's coming up? I don't know. I haven't had a break in... Okay. You're welcome. So let's go ahead and get started. So I assume if you're here today that you have a side hustle going on, you have a side business or a side passion that you possibly want to turn into a side hustle or a business. So you've got something that you love doing, that you're passionate about, and you're wondering, how can I make money doing this in a way that doesn't take up a lot of my time, a lot of my energy. Maybe you already have a full-time job and you want to look for a way to make some money on the side doing something that you love. Maybe you're like me and did find a way to make a living out of your passion, but you're kind of reaching the point where your energy is maxed out, where you don't have the capacity to receive any more money because you literally don't have any time or energy left to give. And that happens a lot when we focus on, especially in like service-based industries, when we work with people one-on-one, delivering services, you only have so much time and energy to give. So today we're going to, or over the next 3 days, what I really want to happen, my intention for this workshop is to dive into how to live exponentially. And the definition of exponential is just rapid growth that just keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing with no cap and no limit to how much it can expand. Okay, so we want to dive in how to create more growth, more happiness, more ease and flow, celebration, and income and impact. Okay, so if you're here, I'm guessing that you raised your hand to start a business or a side hustle from your passion, or already have one, and you want to do it in a way that can make you more wealthy, but also more free as well. So my intention is to coach you through this process. I don't have the answers. No one has answers for you. And I definitely learned that the hard way myself, trying to find coaches and sign up for programs and courses that would basically just tell me what I need to do to be fulfilled. And I'm just here to tell you, no one has that answer. No one has that for you. And if you're looking outside of yourself for that answer, you're looking in the wrong place. You already have it. It's within you. And my intention is to call that out of you today. So what I would appreciate from you, since this workshop is completely free, the best way you're going to get the most value out of this is to participate, engage, and just be present for it. We don't receive as well when we just have something playing in the background and we're doing other things, or if we're just coming in to receive information. If your only goal is to receive, we actually don't give or actually receive as well. That may not make any sense, but the best way to receive more is actually to give more and more attention, more engagement, more focus. So what are you going to give to this space over the next 3 days to get the maximum benefit out of it? That's a question I want you to ask yourself. So I'm going to be asking you questions throughout the entire 3 days, because the best way to call forth the answers that you already possess is to ask you the hard questions. I am not going to teach you what the right way to do anything is, because I don't believe that there is one. There's no right answer. There's no right way. There's only action and then clarity from that action. So together we're going to ask ourselves the hard questions and find clarity through putting some of those answers that we receive in action. So if you have a piece of paper or a journal or something that you can write down in, I'm going to be giving you some prompts that I hope you'll kind of contemplate over the next 3 days. Spend some time reflecting and going in and diving into yourself for those answers. A lot of people just kind of think journaling is this thing, this woo-woo thing, doesn't really work. But the point of journaling is to sit the F down, ask yourself these questions, and really give yourself the time and the energy to think about it. Just asking yourself these questions and not really sitting with yourself, sitting with your shit, maybe all of the hard emotions and hard thoughts that come up. It's just bypassing. You have to give yourself the time and hold space for yourself to receive those answers so you have a plan moving forward, okay? So by the end of this workshop, my intent for you is to know what you want to create using the profitable, unique gifts that you already possess, emphasis on already possess, why you want to create what you want to create, and then how to do it, okay? So today we're going to be focusing on the what. I've titled day 1 in the registration page recalibration, because we're going to disconnect from all the noise, everything else that's coming in, all the inspiration, all the pressure to be what other people expect you to be, molding yourself into something you think other people want you to be, everything you've learned, and just tune back into yourself. So tuning back into yourself, recalibrating to your own unique essence, and then turning down the volume of the outside world. Okay, the first step to finding clarity in who you are and what you have to offer is to shut everything else out. I think we highly underestimate how much noise there is in the world, how much we're being inundated with marketing messages. You need to do this if you want to be successful. You need to do this kind of program if you want to make the max amount of money. You need to have this kind of business and this niche. And we take all that in, whether we realize it or not. And it kind of affects our decisions and how we view our path moving forward. So first, the key is to quiet everything down. If you don't already have a meditation practice in place, that's been one of the game changers for me. Like 10 minutes of just sitting with myself and my thoughts in the morning has helped unleash a channel of just complete clarity and just giving yourself time to quiet down the thoughts. I forget the actual number, but we have something like 60,000 thoughts a day, and whether or not you actually register them with your conscious mind, they're still kind of playing in the background. So giving yourself a moment in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, wherever you can fit it in, to just intentionally shut that off and just intentionally focus on your breath, quiet your mind, and just allow what your true thoughts really are to emerge. Because most of the time we're just responding. We're not actually thinking for ourselves. We're not actually coming up with unique ideas and decisions. We're just responding to everything that goes around us. So give yourself the time. See if you can try it out just for this week, just for the 7 days, or even the 3 days that we're going through this workshop. Just try to give yourself at least 10 minutes to just quiet everything down. Quiet everything down, and your true essence will emerge from that, because that's who you really are. It's not in response to anything going around you. Okay? So that is my first task for you. Okay? And I'm going to be asking you questions throughout this entire thing. And I've set this group up exclusively for you guys. So you'd have a safe space to share. You'd have a safe space to share your takeaways, move through any triggers that might be coming up for you because of what I'm saying. This mindset work that we're going to be doing takes some real work. It's going to be dismantling a lot of what you already believe and what you've already accepted as true. And dismantling that is hard work and can be very uncomfortable. But if you've said yes to this workshop, I'm guessing that you want to live a more authentic life. You want to manifest your deepest desires into your reality, and you want to own your worth and allow yourself to be seen authentically. Okay, that's really what leading a passion-led business is all about. In order to live your passion, you have to embody it and allow other people to see it too. So if you can't be seen, if you can't allow yourself to be seen in this safe space with other like-minded women, I think we only have women here, other like-minded women who are here for exactly the same thing, then how are you going to let other people see you on the internet in front of strangers who may judge you and may have things to say about it, may have opinions? So here and now is a great way to practice allowing yourself to be seen. So if you have questions, or if you want to answer the questions that I'm asking you, just use that as a great little exercise in just pushing your comfort zone just a little bit. Share in the group the answers to the questions that I asked. Share your takeaways, what resonates with you. Push yourself a little bit and just open up that veil and allow some vulnerability to emerge, because that's really going to serve you if you decide to move forward and being an entrepreneur, a side hustler, especially if it's with something that you love and something that touches your soul, because there's no hiding behind that. Okay? Perfect. I think that settles that intro. Okay? So let's move forward to kind of the teaching content. If at any point you have something to add, you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat and I will answer it for you. Okay? Okay. So the what's behind it. What do you want to create, and what is going to allow for the most authentic expression of you? How to differentiate yourself in a very crowded online space, crowded and noisy online space, and how to allow yourself to be seen authentically, and how that is the most prosperous way for you to carry on a business or a side hustle. So get out your journal, get out something to write with, or save this page and come back to it later and spend some time reflecting on this. So I did a podcast episode recently where I went into deeper of how to know when or if a passion is should be monetized. So I want to touch on that briefly, and basically what a passion is. And it really, dictionary definition is just an intense desire or an enthusiasm for something. So I know you guys probably understand the difference between liking something and then having a passion for something. Personally, I didn't know what a passion was until I discovered pole. And I think that's true for a lot of people. You know, we like things and we have hobbies, but I didn't really want to spend hours a day doing it. I didn't want to be in a community of people that shared that passion. It wasn't a point of connection between me and other people and to a tribe. So a passion is more something that you could just spend hours talking about. You could talk someone's ear off about it. You spend hours learning every inch and crevice and corner and everything about it. You're so into it. And that is more of what a passion is. Like, I like things and then I'm passionate about things. So if you have something like that in your life, go ahead and tell me what that is in the chat. Could be pole, could be dance, could be something non-related. I think there's a lot of pole and dance instructors here. But what is it really that you believe you're passionate about? Beyond just a hobby, beyond something that you like, just something that completely lights you up and you're here for it all day, every day. Go ahead and tell me what that is if you're feeling called to share. Pole dance. Yes, Alicia. I know that. I know that. Pole and dance. Yes. Heels. Heels pole, exotic pole. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, there may be a certain aspect within the larger scheme of the larger genre of your passion that you are kind of zoning in on. And that's what we're gonna go dive deeper into, is where do you fit in the larger scheme of things. Pole dance, Pilates and cats. Pilates with cats? That'd be cool. Perfect. Okay, great answers, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so we kind of know our overarching kind of passion, what we're passionate about, and the industry in which we want to live and thrive and make money in, all of that good things. So inside your passion, I went over this in the podcast, but I want to ask you where your purpose is a little bit deeper. It emerges from your passion, but every passion reveals a problem. When you get really, really deep into something and you are studying it, you're practicing it, you're embodying it, you're teaching it, it always reveals a problem or something that's missing. Maybe access, maybe education, maybe doors that have left to be open. There's always something that's missing, something that's maybe presents itself as a gap or a problem. And I want you to think about what that is for you. So you can write that down or let me know in the chat, what problem do you see? What gaps do you see in your industry that you can fill right now with your expertise and your experience and your knowledge? You don't need anything else to fill those gaps. What can you fill right now that you believe would serve people within your niche to deliver them the highest transformation possible? Go ahead and let me know what that is if you feel comfortable sharing, or write that down. It can be as little or as insignificant as you think it is. I'm sure it's not. A lot of things feel too small to us when really it can be life-changing to somebody else. It could be the answer that they're looking for. So even if it doesn't seem super transformative to you, go ahead and let me know, and we'll see what we've got. Don't underestimate yourself. That's a big problem with people in entrepreneurship. We cancel ourselves first. Sometimes it's second guessing myself, like, is the choreo good enough, different enough? Is this what people want, or are they tolerating that? Okay, thank you for sharing that. That's such a common problem, and I'm sure everyone here can relate to that on some level. So when you're asking these questions, is this good enough? Is it different enough in someone else's eyes? You're essentially giving your power away to everyone else. It's not within you, because you're letting them be in the driver's seat deciding what's good enough for them, what's different enough for them. And you have no idea the breadth of their experience, where they came from. So who are they really to decide what's different enough or good enough for you? Your choreo comes from your soul. It comes from your experience and your expertise. And I've seen you dance, Alicia. You definitely dance from your soul. So take that power back and decide that it's good enough. Decide that it's different enough, because it came from you. It came from you. There's only one you. So how could it not be different enough? How could it not be unique enough? So there's a little reframe there. And what I think you are here to do, Alicia, is provide access to dance and pole in a way that not a lot of people get access to. Because the way that you teach and the way that you move is so different from everybody else. You have stage presence like I've never seen. And there's a lot of girls or women who have similar backgrounds as you who believe that they can't do that because they've never seen anyone who looks like them or moves like them actually be as successful and as confident as you are. You're a fucking champion, okay? You are a champion. So don't discount that. Take that back and say, yes, it's good enough because I said so, because I decided, because it came from me. Of course it's good enough. Duh, right? Okay. So once you've gotten your problem, your something that's missing, something that's presented itself as a gap in your industry, something that you can be here to fill. You've decided what that is, okay? Now, how are you going to bring that into a world in a way that is unique to yourself? I can tell you where you're not going to find it, and it's on Instagram. The second you start looking for inspiration, we always tell ourselves, I'm just looking for inspiration. You're looking for someone to copy. You're looking for someone to model your shit after. It may not be the content itself. It may be the delivery system, what kind of class it is, the naming, the vibe, the branding. You may go look for inspiration, but really, what are you doing? Are you looking for inspiration? Or are you looking for someone to tell you what to do? Are you looking for a guide? Are you looking for answers? Okay? So this is where the meditation comes in. Instead of your first instinct, which is to go on Instagram and see what everyone else is doing and see, oh my God, there's 50 other people who've decided that this is the problem they want to solve too. Meditate on it, get quiet, and just allow things to emerge. Clarity is not something you find, it's something you allow to come to you from within, okay? So I challenge you and I invite you to, instead of looking elsewhere, even asking your friends or anybody else, ask yourself first. Be your own source of authority here. Take that power back and ask you what you want to do with it. Here are some prompts that I want you to go through, that I invite you to do throughout the next 3 days to really hone in on how you differentiate yourself from the crowded marketplace. And I'll go into more about the myth of oversaturation in the marketplace, but first I want to get clear, want you to get clear on where your uniqueness lies, what you actually need to lean into to be different from everybody else. The crazy thing is, we look to other people for answers and we essentially become carbon copies of them, and we think that because they were successful doing what they do, that we're going to be successful too. No. They're successful because they're different. And if you show up and try and copy them, either unconsciously or consciously, you're just a carbon copy of them, and you're not accessing your own unique prosperity blueprint. People want different these days. They don't want the same as everyone else because there's too much. There's too much going on in the internet online space that if you just copy other people, you're just going to be their shadow, and you're really never going to become exponential because you're just another version of what's going on over here. And you are unique and you are different. The problem is that we go look for others to try and be different instead of just leaning into who we already are, because that's sometimes the scariest thing, is being more of who you already are instead of just finding something else you can slap on to your business or to yourself, your brand, and just present it out there according to what you believe already works. Okay? So something I want you to go through, something I want you to go through over the next 3 days, okay? Write these down, and I will post them in the group afterward in case you missed them. But questions to ask yourself, okay? How do I differentiate my passion and my purpose from people who are already doing similar things as me? What solutions do you see that nobody else sees yet? So access, education, gaps in the curriculum. What solutions do you see that nobody else is really seeing? And a layer deeper than that is, what solutions do you see that you're afraid to talk about because you think you're afraid of what people might say or think? That's a big one. What are you afraid to talk about? What scares you to put out there? Okay? What are you pretending not to know? That's a big one, and I want y'all to sit with them. I invite you to sit with them for a minute and really get real with yourself. What are you pretending not to know because you're afraid of what people might think or say? Okay, that's a big one. And I already kind of went on that tangent a second ago, but there's no such thing as oversaturation in the marketplace. There's a lot of people doing what you do, probably in the same realm. They're pole teachers, they're dance teachers, they're yoga, Pilates teachers, right? There's probably a ton of them. But the only way that the market becomes oversaturated is if everyone's trying to become carbon copies of each other. If everyone's trying to copy each other, then yes, they're oversaturated because there's just a million different versions of the same thing. There's the Walmart version and then the name brand. And some people will go the Walmart version, some people go the name brand, but you're essentially splitting the pot there because you're not trying to be different. You're not leaning into your uniqueness. You're seeing the success that someone else already had and you're trying to copy that for yourself. The scariest thing to do, I know because I've done it, is to say fuck that and ask yourself, what do you want to do? How do you want to set this up? What do you want to teach? How do you want to teach it? And just lead with that. And the reason that's so scary is because you have absolutely no evidence whatsoever that it's going to work. You have zero. We like to go to find people for answers partly because it provides some certainty in your mind that because they had success, therefore I'm going to be successful. So your mind puts that together, like, here I have evidence that this strategy or this class or this technique works. So I'm going to attach that to me and therefore I'll be successful. It gives you some false sense of security. And if you were really to get true with yourself, lean into what you want to do and just go with that, you have no evidence that it's going to work out. And it may or it may not. You know, the game of entrepreneurship is just not giving up. Persistence. Some things are going to work, some things aren't. But instead of making that mean something about you personally, like you're not good enough, told you you're not good enough, or told you that idea sucks, it's just feedback. What worked, what didn't work? That's the right question to ask, not am I good enough? Of course you're good enough. Of course you're worth it. What worked, what didn't work? There's no such thing as failure here. It's all feedback. And the second that you really embody that, and not just understand it on a logical level, but don't get so triggered when people reject your ideas or don't sign up for your classes or your programs, then you have all the power back and you can just keep going and tweak things and revise things and not try and mold what someone else is already doing, because I can tell you right now, it's going to lead to one of two things. Resentment in your clients and your students because you're really not doing what you want to do, yet somehow we find a way to make it their fault. I've done it. Or you get burnt out and you stop loving your passion because you've turned it into this thing that now you hate. You hate showing up for it because it's not what you really want. So resentment and burnout. Okay? Those are the two biggest things that come up when we're really not listening to ourselves. And if you currently have a business right now of polling or dance and you find yourself starting to hate pole and you start to hate dancing, where are you out of alignment with your own authentic self? Where are you compromising your integrity and trying to be like somebody else maybe you saw on Instagram Or where are you trying to mold your business model or your classes to exactly what your clients want? Okay? I know, we want to serve our clients. We want to give them what's going to help them, what's going to solve their problems. But you also want to avoid the trap of becoming a servant in your own business. Okay? We are here to serve. But if you are a recovering people pleaser like myself, we can get into this trap of actually working for our students or for our clients and not actually working for ourselves. Okay, one client wants this class. Sure, I'll add it on the schedule. Client never signs up. It's an empty class. Okay? We mold our businesses, we create offers based upon what people say they want, but then they don't act on it. And so it turns into this cycle of resentment, frustration, and burnout. So ask yourself, if you've kind of built this thing, it's making money, it's doing the things, but somewhere in it, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel aligned. Where are you compromising your integrity as a business owner, as an instructor, to please other people? You don't want to become a servant in your own business. You work for yourself. You don't work for your clients. Where can you become? I think as women, we're so conditioned in society to put other people first. Okay, this is your permission to get a little bit more selfish. A little bit more selfish with your offers. What do you want to do? What do you want to create? Because I guarantee you, if you are 100% behind your offers and your classes, and you're fucking excited to show up, and you're excited to talk about it, and you're excited to tell people about it, you're gonna get more sales than if you just are doing it out of obligation. I've taught classes I didn't really want to because like one or two people said they wanted it. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't, and now I'm left with less money because I could have filled that with something I was fucking excited about, and less time because now I have this dumbass class on the schedule no one wants, and I'm blaming them for that. But that was me. That was me compromising what I wanted to please other people. Work for yourself, babe. Work for yourself. Do we have any questions thus far? Good point. Thank you. I'm glad that landed. Okay. Comparisonitis. Yes. So we talked about some comparisonitis. No, we didn't. We talked about oversaturation in the marketplace, okay? There's a common belief that I see in a lot of people, like there's not enough room for me. People are already doing what I want to do. They're not. You just think they are because you're looking at them as a model for your success. But they aren't you. They don't know what you know. They haven't been where you've been. And as much as you may feel like where you've been or what you know is insignificant, it really isn't. It really isn't. And the only person who can decide that it is good enough right now is you. So the longer that you wait for someone else to validate your good enoughness, you're going to be waiting forever. You're going to be waiting forever. You decide now that what you know, what you've done, and where you are right now is good enough. Create from that space. Create offers that embody what you've already gone through, things you've already learned. Because I guarantee you, there is someone in their stage of their journey right now who needs exactly what you know, who needs exactly the experience that you've already gone through to get them to their next step. I think when we go online, there's this comparisonitis, and what it really is two things. It's jealousy and it's envy. It's jealousy in that you think someone has something that you don't. So the next time you're looking at another instructor or someone else online, maybe who is doing this class or has all these skills, and you feel yourself kind of like triggered a little bit, like that tension in your chest or your stomach, wherever that comes up for you, ask yourself, what do I think she has that I don't have? What am I making this post mean about me? What am I making the fact that she's offering this program mean about me? What do I believe that she has that I don't have? Ask yourself that. Go deeper into it. It's so easy to kind of come across those posts that trigger you and just scroll and forget about it. But I guarantee you that trigger is coming up for you for a reason. It's the lesson you need to learn to get to your next level. It's the lesson that's going to keep coming up for you, and it's going to keep holding you back until you decide that you have the courage to face it and ask yourself why. Fears don't go away. Doubts don't go away. The only thing that will transmute them into something useful is to ask yourself the questions. Why am I feeling this way? Why does this trigger me? It doesn't mean they're going to go away forever, but it means now you'll understand why you're reacting the way that you do, and now you can move forward with it. Because just because you feel a certain way about something, just because you're jealous, doesn't mean that that's the truth. It doesn't mean that because you believe this person who is offering this class is more experienced and better cut out to offer that to people than you are, you're making that mean that, not her, not the post. You are making that mean something for yourself. And the only way you're going to figure out what you're making things mean is if you sit the fuck down and ask yourself these questions and not just scroll away and bypass it and pretend like you never felt that way. It's going to keep coming up. These things don't just disappear because you repress them. Okay? And the second thing that comparisonitis is really envy. Like, I want her success. I look at what she's done in her business. I look at what she's offering of classes or whatever, and I want that too. Okay, I want that too. And we kind of make that mean that because I don't have that, I'm either behind or I'm doing something wrong or whatever the fuck you make it mean. Okay, so when you come across things that make you jealous or envious, ask yourself, what do I think she has that I don't have? And what am I making her success mean about me? Because I guarantee you it doesn't mean anything. The only meaning it has is the meaning that you give it, and you don't have to make it mean a goddamn thing. You know, it's just that's her life. That has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. So pay attention to those moments. Pay attention to how you're speaking to yourself in moments where you get triggered. That's going to be your next step in actually having the courage to create what you want to create. Those triggers never go away. They never go away. They can only be understood and moved with. But you have to understand them first and why you're reacting the way you do in order to move with them and carry them with you as you move the needle forward in your own life and in your own business. Okay? So that when they come up again, which they will, you know how to move through it. You felt those emotions. You didn't bypass them. You felt them. You know you're still going to live. You're not going to die. You felt them and you moved anyway. It's a muscle you need to build. It's a muscle to be flexed. Feeling the fear and then moving with it anyway. That just takes courage. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. The millionaires of the world, the six-figure earners of the world, they're not scared. They're not triggered. They are. They just feel it and they move. And they don't spend as much time dwelling on it. They don't spend as much time thinking about it and dwelling on it. They just move. And it's quick. So the quicker you can move out of that cycle of overthinking, of that self-doubt, of that fear, of that trigger, the more everything moves, the quicker everything can go. We want to minimize the amount of time you're spending overthinking about something. And it goes back to how well are you connected to yourself? Meditation is a powerful practice for this, for tuning back into your own intuition. Because then when you're practiced and you know what intuitive hits feel like and what your inner essence is trying to tell you because you've practiced quieting out the fucking noise everywhere. Now you can listen and know what your intuition is telling you and trust it and lead with it. But if you don't take the time to quiet out the noise, and you have no idea what your intuition sounds like. or what it's telling you, because you're so in response mode. Okay, so intuition is heavily connected to moving in your passion and finding out what that is. Yes, and moving with it. Do we have questions so far? Perfect. Okay. So, we have got the questions of the practical questions, right? Some other questions you can ask yourself of identifying your point of differentiation is, what exactly do people ask me about? What do people ask my advice about? What do people come to me for help on? What exactly do they want my help on? You know, you may not even recognize that you have certain gifts until some people ask you for your help. And that just means that they've recognized something in you that you may not have recognized in yourself. So think back on that. What have people asked you to, oh, perfect. Thank you. Perfect, Courtney. So what have people asked for your help on? That's another way to identify some natural gifts that you may have that you don't see for yourself. It feels scary to follow your intuition sometimes. Why is it scary? Have you ever followed your intuition and it not work out? Or have you yet to take that plunge? Something I can tell y'all about your intuition, okay? Sometimes it's hard to discern whether you're making a decision from your intuition or out of fear. And I can tell you, it has worked. I guess taking that leap of faith. Yes. It has worked. It has worked. And like I said, the fear never really goes away. Your faith just gets stronger. Your faith and trust in yourself just gets stronger. But the fear of taking that leap never goes away, ever. And fear is a protective mechanism of your brain. It's why it never goes away. Your fear is what keeps you safe. It's from keeping you out of danger. And your mind perceives anything uncertain as dangerous, even if that's as simple as like putting a new class offer out there, putting out a new program offer out there. It's scary because it's uncertain. So there's a differentiation between making a decision out of fear and then making a decision from your intuition, even though there's fear present. Okay? So your intuition is always loving. It doesn't talk bad about you, and it doesn't believe that there's never enough, or it's never in scarcity. It's always in abundance. It's always nice to you. It's always coming from a place of love. Okay? Fear is the opposite. It comes from a place of there's not enough. It talks bad about you. It says you're not good enough. It says you're not ready. It says people aren't going to buy this. It says people aren't going to like this and they're going to judge me. That's fear. Intuition would never say things about you like that. It comes from a place of pure love and pure faith that everything's going to work out. So when you're in that decision-making process, are you making decisions because you're scared, if I don't put this out there, I'm not going to make any money? Or if I don't make this offer that I don't really like anyway, I have to do it because I won't be able to pay rent if I don't? That's a fear-based decision. An intuition-based decision is, I really fucking love this idea. I feel it in my soul. It makes me happy to think about. It makes me happy to create. I'm really scared to put it out there because I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's what your intuition is. Yeah, I hope that kind of helped differentiate a little bit. So back to those journal prompts. Yes. So what do people ask you for advice on? What do they come to you for? What do you like talking about? What do you like explaining? Is there a certain kind of aspect of your niche or your passion that you love diving into? Like for me, for a while, it was injury prevention. It was something I could talk about for hours, and something that I loved going deep into with my students, even though they didn't necessarily ask for it. So what do you really like talking about? What do you like doing? And what do you like helping people with? Okay. Going deep into those will kind of help you draw out where you can differentiate yourself in the marketplace, even if it's like, even if you believe it's so insignificant. It probably isn't. It probably isn't. It's not about really being everything for everybody. I think we get so caught up sometimes in looking at these advanced polars, these advanced dancers, like, oh, she's got it all figured out. Like, if someone really wants to learn how to dance, we'll just go there. Did you do that when you first started, though? When you first entered into pole, or when you first started dancing or doing heel work, did you look at the cream of the crop, the top dog, the most advanced person out there, and be like, I want to learn from them as like a baby? Maybe one day, you know, if I just started polling and I looked at Anastasia Skuktarova and I'm like, I want to learn from her, maybe one day, but I can't even do a fireman, so how am I going to learn from her up here? There's always going to be someone above and below you. Always. No matter how high up the ladder as far as advanced skill you get, there's always going to be someone above and below you. So it's really not about being everything for everybody. It's being exactly what someone needs right now to get to their next level. So you don't have to be anything that you're not already. Self-development is great. Getting certifications is fantastic. Education? Yes. Taking lessons from masters? Yes. But why are you doing it? Are you doing it for you, or are you doing it because once I do this, then I'll be good enough? Because that's a cycle that's never going to end. Because the only way that you can feel good enough is if you decide to. The only one who can make that determination is you. So when are you going to feel good enough? Okay, I'm all about self-development. But you have gifts and talents right now that can help someone get to their next level. So lean into that. You can always grow. As your business grows and as you grow, so are the caliber of your clientele, because you're at another level. So you're meeting other people at their next level, and it just keeps going. You're meeting your clients where they're at, but there's clients in every stage for everybody. So there's no such thing as I'm too basic or I'm too beginner to help somebody. You're not. Because a beginner needs you because of the experience and the knowledge that you have right now to get to their next level. They don't need Anastasia. They don't need a Russian bitch to tell her how to get, to point A to point B. She up here. She's like way away. I used to put that kind of stuff off because I felt I would be insignificant, and then when you look more into it, they weren't necessarily for me. So the more I could find people that were more my style, even if they weren't a big name. So I'm hoping to be that person. Exactly. Someone else needs what you have right now because they've been where you've been. Be who you needed when you first started. Be the coach, be the service provider, be the teacher that you needed when you first started. Those are your people. Those are your people that you're going to help. And you don't even have to go find them, because once you step into that and own that power, they're going to find you. It's just going to be an instant connection because you're speaking to them with your content, your aura, your messaging, your offers. You're going to be speaking to them. You don't even have to try. Just own that and being who someone needs right now with what you've already got, and your people will come to you. It's when you try to be something else, you try to be something that you're not, you try to offer things that you think people want, it's confusing to people because your authenticity doesn't go away. It's still there and it's still attracting people, but then you've got this other thing that's kind of like out here in the ether, and it's still pulling people in. There's this like disconnected messaging, and you get clients that don't really know what they want either because you don't really know what you want. And it's just this, you get caught in this trap of attracting people that aren't really for you. And you get caught in the trap of doing things you don't really want to do. because you're trying to put on this facade of trying to be everything for everybody, right? And the last thing I wanted to mention before we get off here, we already went deep into it. It's just the reclaiming your power and your individuality by being exactly what somebody needs right now, being unapologetically yourself. Because the more you do that, the more you prosper, as we've already gone over. The world doesn't need a carbon copy of anybody else. They've already got that. They need you in all your uniqueness. Okay, there's something between serving with embodiment and serving from expertise. Okay, expertise is like getting all the certifications, getting all the skills, waiting to teach or waiting to put classes out there until you know all that there is to know. And then there's serving from a place of embodiment, is serving from what you've already gone through, what you've already mastered, and helping someone who's below you right now in terms of experience and skill level get up to your level. Okay? Because they need the person who's right above them to get them up here to meet you, and then they just keep going. But your job is to stay in your lane and get all these people to the next level. Yeah? So something to write down, something to journal on, is what breakthroughs have you had that changed everything for you? As little as it is. It could be just a belief. It could be just a thought. It could be a concept. It could be a technique. What breakthrough changed the game for you? And what have you personally gone through that has helped shape you today? What have you personally gone through that has helped you break barriers for yourself? And how can you help others break barriers through that experience too? Alrighty, y'all. Do we have any questions about any of that? I'm going to post these journal prompts tonight so you can kind of take some time and go deep into it. I hope by really contemplating all these really personal questions is to just draw out your unique gifts, and anything that's unique and anything that is authentic to you is profitable. I don't want you to question that. It's not about what is everybody else doing and how can I do that too to make money, because it's already out there. People want something different. Your uniqueness is profitable because it's unique. There's no questioning that. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to become. We're just getting everything out that's already there. That last question cuts deep. Yeah, I know. Like for me, I had reconstructive surgery when I was little, over like 25 reconstructive surgeries. And so my own personal transformation of having to overcome bullying and self-love, self-appreciation, that combined with my pole, because pole was a huge factor in helping me love myself. How can I take that and guide people through that same journey? Because I've already been there. I know what it's like. I know, what fears, what thoughts, what beliefs are going to come up. So I can help someone with that. I don't need to be anything else. I have this experience just by living life, So what have you personally gone through that can help you transform someone's life? Does anyone have any questions? I have to hop off soon. I have a meeting with my business coach at 7, but I'm happy to answer any questions while I still got you. And I'm going to post those prompts after that call. I hope a lot of this landed. I hope it resonated. And I hope that you'll actually let yourself answer these questions. And you'll actually let yourself dive deep into this. Because in these questions are where your answers are. It's not out there on the Instagrams. It's not on Facebook. It's not in someone else's marketing. It's not in someone else's program. Other people's programs and stuff are tools. but they're not the answers that you're looking for. And no one's gonna hold your hand through creating the life that you love. It's only gonna be you, girl. It's gonna be you. And I'm honored to facilitate that process, but I don't have answers for you. No one does. And I hope you love yourself and see yourself as worthy of receiving those answers and leading with them, because you are deserving and you are worthy of it. Just let yourself have it. A lot to think about. Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure. Definitely think about those questions and come with them to next session. I plan probably gonna go a little bit longer next time because I don't have this call afterward, but we'll go over it a little bit, some of those answers. So bring your answers tomorrow. And I really look forward to hearing what you've come up with. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank you for coming. And I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.